somebody asked me what a short squeeze is. It was one of the NUM members a few moments ago. So let me try to explain that. I also want to show you this. This is the moment sentiment changed with Virgin Galactic. This is the actual moment it did. This is a month or so ago, but it was this video and it was this moment that started to wake the world up to Virgin Galactic. Let me share this with you.
Launching a successful trip to the edge of space, taking off this morning from New Mexico. The flight had a crew of 6 people, including 3 civilians who either bought or won tickets.
All right, we've all seen this.
It's the first time.
What we want to look at is the reaction from this guy. You all remember the guy with, I believe it was Parkinson's disease. I think so.
That the commercial human spaceflight company has actually flown passengers, civilians.
There's the gentleman back there. This was the moment that people started to realize the life-changing experience that would come through Virgin Galactic.
To space. They experienced 3 minutes of weightlessness before descending back to Earth. The company aims to fly the spacecraft on a monthly basis. Give me the headlines in terms of today and what it means for whether you've set a date already for your next flight.
Of course, this is old news right now, but it's important to reflect this was the moment it started.
Yeah, this flight speaks to the heart of our company. Space has always been incredibly restrictive, and we're changing that. And the people that we flew today, we created 4 astronauts, including Kelly Latimer, our newest space pilot. And they're envoys back to their communities, back to all the people who watch them.
Just want to show you just a moment. We got stocks now just going into the power hour, just starting to sell off a little bit. Can you see how my morning portfolio is coming down? But what I've just said, I explained right at the beginning of the video, Virgin Galactic isn't. Look here. See what I mean? The sentiment has changed. People are moving out of defensive stocks. They need to buy a growth stock. Palantir is too expensive. Amazon's too expensive. Apple's too expensive. This is where they're going to go. They can't buy SpaceX. Tesla's overpriced. This is the opportunity. And this is what I'm hearing. Let's go back to this announcement here.
To share this perspective of Earth from space. It was an incredibly emotional day, and it was a beautiful flight. And to your question, we're now going monthly. We've done 3 flights within the last 3 months.
Just to update, Virgin Galactic is actually going up. If you've just tuned in, we know that this is an older video, but there's a reason why I'm showing it.
We came down today. We always do some post-flight analysis, but right now our expectations is the next flight's going to be in reasonably early September and continuing monthly from that point forward.
And if you remember, we've started to reduce the cadence as well. It's not always a month, it's slightly less. It won't take long before we have 2 a month.
So we're very, very happy with today's flight, and looking forward to continued space flights with Unity, which is the ship behind me. And then, of course, we're working to rapidly scale the fleet and build the business up.
Yeah, and I do want to get into all of that with you. You just said early September, though. I mean, you do have this backlog of about 800 people who are looking to fly to the edge of space with you. How are you working through that backlog and determining who makes up what crew?
And now on that point, and I think we're going to learn about this on the next earnings, we've started to see that they can actually bump up the more profitable, like we had the research flight, which was pushed up. That's good. They make more money doing that.
We have 800 super excited people today because they're all watching this flight. And we generally go in, I'll call it FIFO order, first in, first out. And
but they can change it, and they have.
The private citizens that are going to be flying with us have a number, right? And we will fly them in generally sequential order. Now, that private astronaut manifest also is accompanied by a parallel manifest that we use for research flights. And so about 10% of our seats we will use for microgravity research, governments and research institutions. And we'll intersperse those two. But you'll see Galactic 3 and Galactic 4 going to be private astronaut flights in September and October. I think November you'll see Galactic 5 as a research flight. and then we'll continue to move from there.
Yeah, now how does that speak to what you have forecast? Because you had earnings last week. So how does that speak to what you forecast in terms of $1 million expected per quarter, I think over the next 2 quarters for revenue? How do you get to those numbers?
So we are flying on Spaceship Unity as 4 seats. Our first few flights, we are flying one of our astronaut trainers on one to observe, did all of our ground training for the astronauts actually play out the way we wanted to in space. Looks like that's going really, really well. And eventually we'll fly 4 people on Unity. The Delta ships will fly 6 people. The people we fly have paid sometimes lesser amounts on their ticket because they bought the tickets 15, 16, 17 years ago. So like John Goodwin paid $250,000 for his flight. Research flights are about $600,000 per seat equivalent. And so the mix of those seats and the mix of those tickets determines our amount per flight. And so we, I think, guided about $1 million per quarter. This particular flight had 2 people who won their seat.
If you've just joined us, we are doing a Virgin Galactic special, and I'm 100% committed. A short squeeze is about to happen.
And John's was earlier. We'll do a research flight in the second quarter. That will be more money. So I think we'll probably be a little closer towards 2 for the second quarter.
Virgin Galactic launching a
There we go. Let me just come out of there a minute. That was that. I just wanted to share that with you, because that was the moment when we had that astronaut fly, when the sentiment changed. Now look again. Can you see? We're coming up to, it's Friday, sell-off Friday. Typically, Friday, we sell off with Virgin Galactic. You can see it as clear as day. The sentiment has dramatically changed with Virgin Galactic. The overall markets have changed this morning because of the unemployment figures and the non-payroll figures. We are now 100% confident of a rate cut in the spring. There's no more rate hikes. There's going to be no more rate hikes. So consequently, what we're now going to see is the markets rally all the way through in December. There will be some trimming off, bound to be, because it's tax season again. But in my opinion, a short squeeze is not just. And in fact, someone has just asked me, can I break down a short squeeze? So we're gonna discuss that in a minute. Give you an exact definition of that so you can fully understand it. Virgin Galactic on a Friday night is up 9.4%. What do you want to see? 31% this week. What do you need to see, folks? I don't know what you need to see. We've got short interest increasing. I've just been checking that before I came on air, and those contracts expiring. So next week we could see some the short squeeze start to kick in. Remember, it doesn't happen overnight. Remember, GameStop took some time. Palantir overbought. That can't. It's just going up and down, up and down. That's going to be sold off. I'm sure of it. Gold, no reason to buy that right now. The S&P is up 1.1%. When you think how much some of my stocks have rallied today, that's not very much, right? Amazon, trying to buy the old guard, buying and dumping. No, there's no point. There's no money here to be made. This is too expensive. People aren't going to pay anything. People will pay anything for Virgin Galactic, like Tesla, because it's new and exciting, like Binky Bonk coin and Bitcoin. They'll pay anything for it if they feel a FOMO and they're getting left out. The real money, the big institutions, the ones that move the markets, aren't going to do that on Amazon, are they? No, because it wouldn't make any sense. It's already expensive. They're not going to just keep buying and buying. Retail investors are the ones who are going to create the short squeeze. That's what happened in GameStop, right? Institutions tried to short the stock. Everybody started buying it, and it squeezed and it went up. That's what's going to happen with Virgin Galactic. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get a short squeeze Amazon. There's no massive growth here. We can see it. People are trying to buy it and dumping it, buying and dumping it. You can see it. Apple, it's been red all day. Apple, one of the best companies in the world, has been red all day after earnings. People are trying to buy it, but it's just not going anywhere. It's just not going to move. Next Era Energy. This is being oversold again, by the way. This is ridiculous, but people are doing what they're doing. Enphase Energy, everyone said I was mad for buying it at 71. That's held up. Now look at that, up 2.46% today Think of the sentiment here. This is a growth stock. This is like Virgin Galactic. This could short squeeze because this has a huge growth potential, and anyone who knows anything knows there's no growth in this company at all for 2 quarters. For 2 whole quarters. Nevertheless, people are buying it because they know it could short squeeze. Because they know in 2 quarters, maybe less now, we could see the pivot. No more rate hikes. That's the big news. That's the big news. No more rate hikes. Soon as that happens, soon as you get the signal that we've got no more rate hikes, it's the time to buy a house. Because if you buy a house today, house prices are down because interest rates are high. But the next thing is a rate cut. So you don't wait until the rate cuts, because if you wait until the rate cuts, the houses are going to go rocketing up. So the houses that have solar on them, it's the same thing. You spend a lot of money on a house, you spend a lot of money on finance on solar, yet it's holding up. It's up 2.5%, much more today than Amazon and Apple, because the economy is 6 months behind the market, right? People are buying what's going to happen next, not what's happening today. So they're buying this knowing, like I do, in 2 quarters, this is going to double in price. 100%. Governments are backing solar. Environment is getting worse. We need solar. Governments are backing it. This is the company that's going to stay around and not go anywhere. They've got plenty of cash. Solar Edge and other companies are going to go bust. Possibly not Solar Edge, but some smaller ones will. So Enphase will take the business. So I believe that Enphase Energy is best placed, just like Virgin Galactic, when no one's buying Apple. When they're trying to buy Apple, it isn't working. They're trying to buy Amazon, it's not working. They have to go into high growth. So they're buying Enphase. They're buying Virgin Galactic. Look, it's still not coming down. On a Friday at 15 minutes to the bell, it should be going down. Don't be surprised if it goes up after hours. It could. And if it goes up after hours, preparing for Monday morning, that's extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. Let's see what happens. Let's look at other stocks. Oil's coming down now. Hard to make money out of oil. The only way you make money out of oil right now is buy it lower and lower, which is great. I doubled my position. I'm actually inclined to double again, because now it's a beat up stocks. Oil is nobody wants oil right now. So if you buy oil now, if I buy another $2,500 worth of oil, I will go just 3% down. Well, the dividend, I think, is it $1.57. I think it's $1.50 or something like that per share. So I could actually end up just earning money on the dividends, waiting for oil to improve. That just shows you our sentiment has changed. Tesla is interesting because Tesla is a growth stock with the Cybertruck around the corner. However, that's only up 0.35% today. You're not making money on Tesla. Why? Because it's overbought. It's overexpensive. It's too rich. So where do you go? I repeat, Virgin Galactic. It's undervalued. Not on today's revenue, it's not. But like Enphase, it's the future. We only need to get to the spring, and rate cuts, and off we go. Virgin Galactic's $5, $6, $10, and there's no stopping it. Then there's nothing you couldn't stop it if you tried. What else have we got to demonstrate this? I got out of Tilray today. Robinhood going up because it's a broker, and retail investors are coming back into the space, and they're buying this. Why would you not? Because they're going to make a lot more money now, because more people are going to come into the market, more people are going to use margin, they're going to make money on that. We can all see where the brokers are going to go. It's obvious. And the retail investor that comes on Robinhood is all going to want to buy that. They're not going to want to buy. They're not going to want to buy Amazon and Apple, and it comes across as too expensive. They're going to want to buy Virgin Galactic. They're going to want to buy space because they can't buy SpaceX. They can't buy Blue Origin. Who else are you going to buy? Well, you can, of course, buy Rocket Lab, I apologize, and I have. I've got $4,000 in my brokerage account, and I was down like 20%. I'm now down just 2.8, waiting for the flights that are coming this year, FAA approval. When Rocket Lab flies and Rocket Lab doubles to $8, which it will, that will throw even more fuel on the fire of Virgin Galactic. So those two stocks, I'm working together. I buy them both. I've got $4,000, nearly $5,000 in that, and nearly $8,000 in this one. So about $12,000 in space right now. Okay. So anyway, somebody asked me what a short squeeze is. It was one of the NUM members a few moments ago. So let me try to explain that in sort of really, really basic terms. 8.3, 8.6, just looking what's happening here. Right. So essentially, this is what happens. In a short squeeze, it's exactly what the phrase is. The shorts get squeezed. That's what it means. So what we've got in the market, we've got the bulls and the bears. The bulls are buying. They have a positive sentiment. They believe stocks are going up. Bears believe the stock is going down. And you've got this constant battle between bulls and bears. If there wasn't any bears, stocks would just keep going up forever and the system wouldn't work. It needs to have bears because it drives the stock down, we buy dips and it goes up. So you've got this constant battle between the bulls and the bears. Now, I actually think it should be outlawed. I don't like it. I'm all about positive energy, positive reinforcement, visualizing the future. I manifest all the time what I see and it always comes true. I've always been successful. I've always achieved the goals in my life that I wanted to achieve just by hard work, commitment, belief, study, and never giving up. And always, I'm already there. I'm already at that result. Okay. So I'm very optimistic, right? And so I don't like the principle of being able to short stock. What is shorting? Shorting is when you are betting that the stock, using options and contracts and so on, you are betting on the stock going down. You're not buying the stock. You're not like me buying the shares, because if you bought the shares, you're bullish. Because you wouldn't buy a stock that you thought was going down. There wouldn't be any point, right? A bull buys stock, a bear sells stock. However, a bear can also short the stock, just like a bull can believe the stock's going up and do options that way round. But a bear believes the stock's going down. So rather than buy the stock, because they'd be bullish, right? They want to bet on it going down. So they buy contracts betting that the stock price is going to go down. They buy a contract which they are predicting by a certain day, a certain time, a certain price, they believe the stock price is going down. Now, at some point, their contract will expire and they need to decide what they're going to do with that contract. Are they going to win because the stock went down, or are they going to be forced to buy the stock or they'll lose their money, right? So essentially what happens is they're betting it's going to go down. They're buying more and more contracts, expecting the market to go down. But if it doesn't, and as it approaches the expiration date of their contract, it starts to go up. They are forced to make a decision. Do I lose my money because I got it wrong? It didn't go down. Or rather than lose my money, I have to buy the stock. They tend to buy the stock. Otherwise, they'd lose money, right? So you've got the bulls buying the stock. You've got the bears buying the stock. and it goes all the way up like a champagne bottle, and it squeezes and pops out of the top and goes absolutely bonkers. And we saw that in GameStop when it went up and up and up. And basically, all the institutions that were betting that the markets were going to go down were forced to buy in. So the bulls are buying, the bears are buying, the stock can keep going up, and there's no stopping it. Eventually, of course, it bursts and it comes down. However, it can run for weeks and weeks like that and just keep rallying and rallying and rallying. And of course, people will take profit along the journey or whatever. But that's what I believe is going to happen with Virgin Galactic. Now, for that to happen, a lot of things have to happen. It's a very rare occurrence. It's not a day-to-day occurrence. People talk about short squeezes all the time like it happens every 5 minutes. It can't happen because I'm all excited about Virgin Galactic. I know I have the world's biggest, most 95% of all the retail shares are from people who view this channel. No question. We've done the research on it. When Roaring Kitty was behind the whole GameStop saga, he didn't have 95% of all the retail investors with him. Not even close. I do. So I know what the sentiment of the retail investors is. No question. They watch the show, they talk to me, they send me messages on Instagram and on X and emails, Andy Shovel, you know, all the people, so on. So I know what the retail investors are doing, who's buying, who's selling, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I can see from the institutions who's buying, I know the inside trading going on, all of that. So I can see the sentiment. So I also, because a lot of people want to see me look stupid and fail, they make themselves very public. You know the little silly Hobbit bloke yesterday? Remember him? There's people on Reddit. You want to go on Reddit and see the things that get said about me. It's crazy. These are sad little people that want to, I'm not knocking anyone who wants to short a stock. It's how the game works. It's like playing snakes and ladders and saying, I hate the snakes. Right? You have to have the snakes. Otherwise, you don't have the game. All right? So we need shorters in the game. Otherwise, there's no game. Okay? But I don't like people who literally get up in the morning with the intent of spreading false information, like you've seen it about me. It's false information, trying to destroy stocks, trying to destroy companies, trying to put people out of business, trying to destroy companies like we saw in 2008, the Michael Burry. We saw all of that. We saw people that were trying to drive the stocks down. However, then it was a very different thing. We had a short squeeze on the stock market and everybody lost their houses. People took their own lives. It was awful. And a few people got rich. However, that was different because we had a few traders who were buying millions and millions and millions of contracts, betting on the stocks going down. We didn't have social media like we do today. These were traders and investors and very smart people. Now what we get is a few idiots in their millions online, on Reddit, making up stories, talking rubbish, and collectively they're very powerful. Very, very powerful. And those people all get together. Roaring Kitty was involved, and we know about the song, and I like it. I like the stock. We know about the music that came out, and we know about all the people sitting in their bedrooms making up nonsense and all ganging up together. And that's what created the short squeeze and completely crippled the hedge funders and so on and so forth. So that's the world we live in right now. And there's lots of people like that online trying to make me look silly, do the very opposite of what happened in Roaring Kitty. What happened there was everyone was trying to promote it. A lot of people in this case are trying to destroy it. They're shorting the stock. It's not the institutions this time. It's not the institutions like last time. It's the retail investor. They're trying to bring down Virgin Galactic. And they're all going to get crushed. And those people don't like me very much. They don't like me at all because I am the opposite. I am saying that the stock is going to explode. And all those retail investors, not hedge funds, but regular people, little Billy, little Joe, Uncle Jack, whoever they are the regular retail investor, just like you and I. They're the ones who are going to lose all their money. And they believe that Virgin Galactic is rubbish. And I can't even repeat the comments I get and all the stuff I get. Loads and loads, thousands and thousands of comments get filtered out because of the swearing and so on. So I know the negativity that's around this stock. And if it wasn't for me, quite honestly, because I am really the biggest voice on Virgin Galactic, if it wasn't for me, it would be crushed already. It would be down below $1. And even though I say that I am just a little voice and I can't manipulate a stock, I do have a certain amount of power. And the more I go live, the more I'm bullish, the more I declare 100% of a short squeeze, the more it pisses those people off. So they're trying harder to short the stock. Consequently, it's the very opposite of what happened with Roaring Kitty and GameStop, because rather than institutions getting crushed and the retail investor taking on the institution, what you've got is a great company and you've got retail investors who are trying to destroy it going against me, another retail investor. It's quite bizarre. However, what's going to happen this time is it's not going to be the institution that gets crushed. It's going to be the retail investor that gets crushed. Because what's going to happen at any minute, any day, any hour, any moment, the bell's about to go, by the way. In 20 seconds, we'll ring the bell. Ready? Let's ring the bell. What's about to happen is institutions are going to buy into Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic is going to go up, and the retail investor that tried to short it is going to get crushed. The bell has now gone. We are in after hours, and the stock is going up in the after hours.